Hello, my friends. This is Jeannie. Welcome back. For those who are first-time visitors, welcome and thank you. I thought I would take the time to film the process that I use to make badge books. I am calling them badge books, but they don't have to be used as badge books. We have a lot of creative people here on YouTube, and I'm sure you can find many other uses for this other than a badge book. In fact, I know that I plan on using these in many other ways other than a badge book. So let me share with you what I mean. So using some materials I had on hand, I made these books. So it is a gatefold on one side. It has a pocket on the inside. And in my case, for what I'm using it for, this is going to be the front. So now you understand when I say this doesn't have to be used solely as a badge book. You can use this if you add a few more elements to it. It can be a flip book. You can use this to make an album. You can use this to make a card, a handmade card, birthday, anniversary, some other special occasion, you name it. You can transform this into whatever you need it or want it to be. I need it to be a badge book, so I'm calling it a badge book. Okay, so the materials I used to make these particular books, and by the time I'm done with these books, they will be 6 by 10 in size. You can work the measurements to whatever size works for you, but this is the size I need it to be to work with the embellishments that I am using. So at the end of the day, 6 by 10, but that is not what I start with. Let me show you what these are made of. I used the file folders that you can get at the Dollar Tree. They have them in this manila color, and they also have the fancier ones, okay, in different styles. I picked these up quite a bit ago, actually, and never got around to using them for their intended purpose, which worked for me because now I get to use them for a whole new purpose. So let me share with you what I did. I think what I will do, I'll work with the manila one. No, let's not. I like this one. Let's make one of these. I'm going to work with this one. Let's open this one up. Let's open this one up. Let's put this to the side. Okay, so here is the file folder. Okay, and I think uncut as is, these are, I think, 8 by 11 and a half. Let's see. 11 and a half. It's actually 8 3/4. What an odd measurement. By 11 and a half. Okay, that is what this looks like in its original state. We are going to alter this so that we have this gorgeous gatefold style book or card. Call it what you will. Okay, and I'm going to move this aside. Actually, this is what inspired this whole project. These stickers, these posable stickers, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off these tabs. I don't need these tabs. What I need is for my book to be 6 inches wide. So I am going to cut this using my paper trimmer so that I only have 6 inches from the fold. This is the fold right here. So I'm going to set this on the side I'm not cutting. I don't want to cut that. Okay, I'm going to set it on the 6-inch mark here on my trimmer, and I'm going to trim off these tabs. Now, if you're into mixed media, I would encourage you to keep these because these are awesome for mixed media canvas projects. I don't like to hoard scraps, but these I do keep because they do have other uses. So I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, now we are done with the paper trimmer for now. For now, we will be using it again. Okay, so here we have 6 inches, right? When you open it, 12 inches. Okay, now we're going to score this so that we can create this gatefold element here and this pocket flip element here. It's not a flip. I don't know why I called it that. I do actually, because when you cut it, you have to flip it up and adhere it, but that's a different step. So let's go ahead and score this. Now I know my cut is right on because when I put this on my scoreboard, it measures 12 inches wide, which is what it should be. And then the fold is on the 6-inch mark, which is where it should be. Now I'm going to use my score tool. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my file folder is pressed up against the wall here, this lip, if you will, so that I get my score mark exactly where I need it. Okay, I'm going to score at the 3, and I like to score twice. And I'm going to score at the 9. Okay, then I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, just like that. Okay, and again, make sure it's pressed against this wall or this lip. And I'm going to go ahead and score at 10. 10. Okay, so I'll repeat that again. Here's the card or the file folder. After I trimmed it down to the 6 inches, I'm going to open it, lay it flat. When it's open and laying flat, it's going to measure 12 inches across. You're going to score at the 3 and you're going to score at the 9. Then you're going to rotate 90 degrees and you're going to score at the 10. Okay? And that is all we will be using the score tool for right now. So let me move that to the side. Okay, so I'm going to get my bone folder and I'm going to go in and reinforce these score marks. There we go. Here's the other one. Okay, and you see that? This is when, this is the 3 mark and this is the 9 mark. And there's that gatefold element. And you see it here? We just created this element right here. Okay, that's that. Now, the bottom score at the 10, after you rotate it, we will reinforce that one as well. I don't know if reinforce is the correct word, but I like that word, so I'm running with it. Okay, so now what we need to do is a little bit of cutting using scissors. And I think what I will do, I will mark the area we're cutting out with a pen. Okay, so after you fold all your score lines, you kind of create this little section at the bottom. You see these 4 triangle sized boxes right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to cut 2 of them away. This one and this one. Okay, we're going to cut those and get rid of those. So let's do that. Now, when cutting them away, and here's a tip. You see the score marks or the fold marks? Try cutting on the inside of the mark. Okay, and you're probably thinking, who cares? But it'll believe me, later on, save you the aggravation of having to deal with a fold that doesn't fold correctly, and I'll show you what I mean. So let me go ahead and cut this box out. There's one, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this box out. This is like one of those rare occasions where I don't use a paper trimmer. I love my paper trimmer. And again, I'm going to cut slightly inside of the fold. And now I will show you why you want to cut slightly inside of the fold, because this flap right here that we just created is going to fold up and create that pocket. This inside pocket right here, okay, is being created by this flap. And if you had cut this flap exactly on the fold line, it would make it a tiny bit difficult for the side panels, for these panels right here, to close without being hampered by an extra little I don't know, there'd be some paper there, okay, and it would throw your fold off a little bit, and your card will be just slightly crooked, and that's the kind of thing that makes me crazy. So just cut a little bit on the inside, and you will appreciate that later on both your gate folds will close beautifully, remain straight, and won't drive you bananas because it's slightly off. Okay, so there we go. So here is the base. That's the base of the card, right? Or the badge book, whatever you want to call it. There it is. So now all we have to do is use some style of cardstock, and of course you know, pick whatever works for you, to create these panels. Okay, I'm going to need 2 pieces of this 12 by 12 paper to create all of my panels. The first sheet of 12 by 12 we will use to create the panel for the inside and the back side of this particular card or badge book. Now, this measures 6 across, 10 tall. I want to leave a little bit of the white border, so I'm going to cut the panel at 5 3/4 by 9 3/4, and I need 2 of those panels. So let me get my trimmer. I need 2 of those panels. I do. Let me get my trimmer. Let's put this down. I am going to, is it just me, or do you always try to cut your cardstock in a way where you're left with big pieces of scraps as opposed to large pieces of scraps? I mean, to small pieces of scraps, because the bigger the paper is, the better odds you have of reusing it. I try to work it that way, but it doesn't always work out for me. So here we go. I am lining up at the 5 3/4. Then I'm going to turn this and cut it at the 9 3/4. 9 3/4. And save this because you can use this. You will be using that again. Okay, so there's one panel. Here is the other panel. 9 3/4. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to put these to the side because you'll be able to use that again. Then next, what you want to do is you want to create these panels right here for the actual folds. Okay, and these I cut. The fold itself is 3 by 10, so I'm going to cut these so that I have that little border that I like so much. I'm going to cut these at 2 3/4 by 9 3/4, and I will need 4 of them. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to need 4 of those. So taking another piece of that 12 by 12 paper, let's go ahead and do that. So this one I'm going to cut a little bit differently. I think what I will do is I will start at the 9 3/4. Do that cut first. Do that cut first. So I have this nice big piece of scrap I'm sure I can use for something else. Then I'm going to flip it and start cutting at the 2 3/4 marks. 2 3/4. And I said I needed 4. So here's 1. 2. My little one is in the other room with her dad watching Harry Potter. She has never seen Harry Potter before. And last night she saw the first one for the first time and loved it. And today they're watching the second one. So I'm excited for her that she finally gets to discover Harry Potter. So I always like to go in and measure the actual pocket. We know the length is going to be 6. Okay, so what we need to measure here is just, this is 1 3/4. Okay, so what I would do to create that border is I will cut it at 5 3/4 by, I would say, 1 1/2, and that should give me that nice border that I like so much. So this is where I will use one of these scraps, which should measure, it does, 5 3/4 this way. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. And I said we're cutting it at 1 1/2, right? I'm going to do it slightly under 1 1/2 so that we can have a nice visible border. And let me check that out and make sure that it actually works. Let's see. Actually, it's still too big, so I'm going to cut it more. It's maybe instead of 1 1/2, we cut it at 1 1/4. Let's try 1 1/4. That's the thing with a lot of this. And as crafters, you know, sometimes we just kind of have to eyeball things or adjust as we go along, especially if you're using items from the Dollar Tree, because measurements there are never uniform. So now let's see. Yeah, that's definitely, I like that border a lot better. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces. I can go ahead and move this. Now, in terms of adhesive, obviously you use whatever works for you. I am all about instant gratification. I do not have the patience. I don't have the patience for wet glue. So whenever I can, I use my ATG, and I am going to use my ATG here for sure, for sure. So let's start with the larger panels. Okay, let's move that to the side. Let me make sure that looks good. Leave a tiny bit of a border at the top. There we go. They have been working hard, my girls. Yes, they have. And these girls are so amazing. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. The things they're doing at 8 years old, I am so proud of them. I tell you, being a Girl Scout troop leader is one of the things I'm most proud of doing in my lifetime. I have accomplished quite a bit in my lifetime. I'm a big believer in hard work, and hard work pays off. But the day that I volunteered to be a Girl Scout troop leader was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Now, here is one of these side panels. And again, remember, these are 2 3/4 by 9 3/4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line up the top with the top of the center panel. So it just makes the book look a lot neater. And it usually helps to line up correctly. See, that turned out great. Look at that. So there's that. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Now I need to adhere this flip, or I need to adhere this part here there. So I am going to use, I could use my ATG, but see how wide that is? I want the glue strip to be a little bit thinner than that because I want to try to retain as wide a pocket as I possibly can. So I'm using my 1/4 inch score tape. Man, I love my ATG. I don't know how people get along without an ATG. And I think actually an ATG is one of those things, you love it or hate it. I love mine. So there you go. Peel this off. We're gonna adhere this flap up there, and look, there's the inside of our book or card, depending on what you want to use it for. Now we'll turn this over and we will adhere the back panels. And there we go. Isn't that awesome? Dun 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 dun. Woohoo! So check that out. Using this same method, I made quite a few of these because I have quite a few Girl Scouts that I have to make books for. So, considering that we are now almost 30 minutes in just me showing you how to make this, what I think I will do is do a separate video showing you how I'm going to embellish these. And I'm going to embellish these using those posable Jolie Boutique stickers. Here they go. Using these Jolie Boutique stickers that I found at Tuesday morning. So, all right. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber to my channel. For those who have already subscribed and continue to visit me and watch my videos, thank you so, so much. I truly do appreciate it. And I hope everyone will come visit me again. Until next time, bye-bye.